And we are live. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Beyond the 90. It's been a while since I said that. There's been pre-recorded videos. Again, the channel will continue to pump out content where possible. Again, I've just been busy with a few things. Hope you're all well. In this video, as you probably tell by the title, we're going to go over the Leicester Everton press conference. We're going to review the press conference overall. Going to give you a preview of the game. And I'm also going to look into some smaller details regarding this as well. Looking at formations, looking at Everton's game of recent past, and looking at a few more things. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get into the first thing. So we're going to look through some of the particular bits when it comes to Leicester City and Steve Cooper, because he restarted his press conference just today. And I wanted to mention a couple of things. Number one, the fact that he keeps talking about VAR and the decision that happened against the decision that happened recently. Now, there's one hand of me that goes, do you know what? He's fighting, he's sticking up for the club, he's showing, kind of leading by example by saying, look, this isn't on and this isn't the way that we want to play football. The second one is a bit different. Let me see what I mean by this. So with him, I was thinking he's not the reason we lost the game. VAR isn't the reason we drew the game. I keep saying lost the game, but it feels like a loss, you know. But your tactics were part of the reason why we lost the game. Part of the reason, yes, was for that. And yes, it didn't line up properly, but he's still talking about it all this time later. Now, there will be times if, again, heaven forbid, we do get relegated and we do end up kind of going back to the Championship, this will be a moment where we're like, well, that's 2 points dropped because of VAR. But he also has to look at himself, as we went through in the last video on the channel. What did he get wrong? What did he do himself? Look at the reflection. And for me, it kind of feels like he's passing the buck. So let me show you what I mean. So again, I'll bring up BBC Radio Sport, BBC Sports Leicester. This is one of the quotes from there. It was an awful human error, which I believe is hidden a little bit. It's disappointing with the decision. We didn't feel like it was right as for clarity. And I've seen the images show he was clearly offside. Everything we've seen has been a false image. We've had a massive error going against us, and we didn't want it to go under the radar because it's not fair on the players or supporters. Now, he keeps mentioning the players, the supporters, etc. And I do agree. Look, it was dumb. But from the majority of people I've spoke to, whether it's online, whether it's in person, that are Leicester fans just go, look, Steve Cooper lost us the game. For me, this VAR decision, again, there is problems. We've mentioned VAR problems, and there does seem to be, and it's not me being pessimistic. I genuinely think there's been more things it's got wrong than got right. However, the bit that we can concentrate on, and what he needs to concentrate on, what he did in terms of substitutions from losing the game. I'm not going to sit here and bash Connor Cody. I think that's unnecessary. I think there's a lot of doom and gloom, especially online. In person, I don't think there's as much. But coming into this game, that is something that is to mention. Partly as well, it's again for this. I'm just looking at this. If I show you, just to bring that up, here, there are 1, 2, 3 different slides just on VAR talking about it. I was just listening before we go, 30 minutes in to the Way You're Smiling podcast, and they're still talking about VAR. And I understand, but looking at it from an objective view, that was part of the reason, sure, but also the tactics, we didn't get them right. Does it feel like he's shifting the blame? Not quite. But I just want him to go, do you know what? This is done now. Put it to a side. We've got to crack on with the next game. Let's look forward rather than looking back. And it just stinks of a manager a little bit that's not too sure why he's doing this. So, in other news, there is everybody pretty much available that was, apart from Stolarczyk. We've come back from international duty after last week, and they're all ready to play. There was no new injury updates, which is great. It means we've got squad and competitions. We'll go through, because he likes to play a 4-2-3-1. I think we've seen over the last few games. We'll look at how that's going to be played. But one of the players that is in contention, that wasn't in for the last game, is this man. Oden Edward. So again, he signed just before the Villa game, but he wasn't eligible to play for that one. And then after that, we had obviously the Crystal Palace game, which he's not eligible to play for his team then. So couple of things that Edward said. It felt like, again, it feels a little while now, but he's with us. But that's also allowed him to develop relationships with his team and the staff and how we want to play. So again, that's a good sign, to be honest. Again, saying all the right things, not saying anything too wrong about it as well. But again, is he available to play? Do I think he starts? Not yet. I think that Jamie Vardy, well, we'll get into my formation and things later. Again, leave yours in the comments down below. I still think that Jamie Vardy will start this game. It makes, for me, it makes no sense to really bring him into this game. I've heard some mixed reviews from Palace fans. If you've seen the channel, I've released a clip where Ali, shout out to Ali from Palace Southampton Fan TV, we talk about Ayew and we talk about Edward and the mixed feelings between him signing and some of the fans weren't happy they let him go. Some fans were from Crystal Palace. It feels like, without seeing him, again, we could be proved wrong, feels a little bit like an Iheanacho replacement. He's going to come on, going to do business. Is he going to start? Eventually, I think I won't say he'll start. It'll be either him or Ayew. I've got a feeling that Ayew might be played more in the cup as a striker, and Jamie Vardy is going to be given the minutes for this. Against the game, against the team against Palace, we decided to play one position where we left Jamie Vardy on for the full 90. I've not seen us do that for quite a while. That's a full game, full Premier League game. He looked tired towards the end. And that's just, again, the tactics weren't working. We would have needed somebody in that kind of game. I think an Edward would have worked if we had the option for him. But that's pretty much where we've got in terms of this. But look, we've got the team back. They've got players like El Canous. We've got Buonanotte back for a full week of training. Now they've come back for international duty. Now there's competition for places. And we've got a bit of a dilemma on our hands in a good way. Now, we compare that to the game against Everton, Aston Villa, and the game previously against, what was it called? Against Crystal Palace, where we started quite strong, but we didn't really unlock them after we made the substitutions, and it kind of went downhill. Where the Crystal Palace game, we started, as we grew into the game, we started to have more possession of the ball, started to play, which was quite cool. So how do we set up? Now, it depends. Now they're going to be a very different opponent. Let me just show you some statistics around their previous game, Everton. Now, we all saw what happened. I think they're pretty much infamous for this now. We were 2-0 up after 27 minutes. They ended up losing the game 3-2. It was a scorcher of a hit by Duran. Unbelievable hit. Will probably go down as probably one of the goals of the season. But as you can see here, Everton had nowhere near the possession. Overall, they were okay. They created opportunities, and this is what people forget. I think Everton will defensively. There's issues there, of course, but they can score goals. And one thing that we've not kept so far is a clean sheet, barring the cup. But could we get one in this game? Probably not. I'll spoil it now. I think we're going to lose the game 3-1. So win the game 3-1. Shouldn't have said that. Put that out into the universe. But coming into this one again, back to that position. Let's look at the average player formation of Everton. Now, looking at that, as you can see here, from this period, you've got obviously Jordan Pickford, who's going to start in goal. Mykolenko, who went off injured, even though he was one of the young back line. They've got an aging back line at the moment, so we could get at them. And this is when I get to a formation later on that we could really exploit. Dwight McNeil playing quite high up alongside Dominic Calvert-Lewin. You've got Ndiaye, who's apparently, from what I've heard, been quite a good player for them. Jack Harrison, again, linked with us, was at our training ground but didn't sign. Again, is it a good it's all right team? Agana Gay, again, is another player as well there. And Arugbunam, again, has been, I think, decent from what I've seen as well. But you look at this back line again, you look at this formation again, it's not a 4-4-2, kind of is. You got your 2, you got your 4 a little bit. It's a bit all over the place, but it's very defensive. Trying to pack out the midfield. So if we're going to get joy, it's going to be here down in the wings, especially in this position. If you look, if we can get it in behind Jack Harrison with Mavididi in the team, a little bit of a spoiler for my formation, I think we could create some room and some place to play here. Then on the right-hand side again, so I think on the wings, we could really get some benefit to come in for this. Also coming into this team, where's it gone? So I think this is one thing. They're picking up injuries quite badly now. This is obviously bad for them. It's quite good for us. Hopefully we can capitalize on this now. Their back line, if you look at that, let me get that back up. We have got few players from Burnley that he would know quite well. James Tarkowski, again, linked with us. You've got Ashley Young, again, he's anything but young at the moment. You've got Michael Keane. Jordan Pickford, I still think is a great, again, England's number 1 for a reason. Can't tell you much about, again, but Dwight McNeil being playing as a 10. You've got Jack Harrison and Dye. This is a team that can be got at. Now, if we look at the possession statistics in that game, bear in mind they were 2-0 up against Bournemouth and chucked it away as well. Now, when we played Aston Villa, we lost the game 2-1, granted, but we did just about we just about held on for the goal. Let me see if I can find that one. So the 7th, Saturday the 7th. Let me see if I can find that one though. That was the week before. So for that game, let me get the Aston Villa. The percentage wise is crazy. So let me bring this back up here. So again, they lost the game 3-2. Aston Villa had all of the statistics. 27% Everton had. Now that's lower than what we had in the whole match against Tottenham. The difference is they had some gilt-edged opportunities that they missed. You're looking at somebody like a Calvert-Lewin. He missed, again, I think, 2 great opportunities against Villa and could have even sealed the win for them. But overall, statistics-wise, they were dominated. It seems like Sean Dyche has had enough. Call me a bit cynical, but I think it feels like he's done. He's had enough because he's tried. Players getting injured. He's tried to work with the best they've got, and this might be his last game. Considering where they sit at the moment, they sit rock bottom of the Premier League, and we knew that. Well, we kind of talked about Southampton, how bad they would be, but they're not even bottom. And this is actually somebody that what's his name? Ali was mentioning. Wolves might be in trouble. But anyway, let's go back to Everton. Everton, again, -9 goal difference with 4 played. They've scored 4 goals. 2 of them are against Villa as well. And they've conceded 13 for a -9 goal difference. Bit of a quick maths for you there. It's not looking good. Our defensive record does look better. So us, Crystal Palace, Ipswich, all on 2 points, all with 7 conceded, which is interesting. Us, we're ahead on goal difference, but we've not scored as many goals. So we've not conceded. Is that as many? No, we've not conceded as many as well. So some good bits of possession, some good things to pick up. But again, overall, this is a game where this would put us in a good stead. Okay, if we win this game at the moment, we shift all the way up to mid-table. Now, this is dependent on other results around us. But you're looking at, look, Tottenham are there. West Ham, if they drop points, for example, we could shoot up towards middle of the table. And considering the run that we've got, this is the start of Cooper. Cooper needs to start picking up points. He's given us the excuses. He said his players haven't got in. You've got the squad in now. Now's your time to turn up. Now, how is he going to do that? We go to something like formation-wise. Here's how I would start the game. I'd pick a 4-2-3-1, and I'd try and expose a couple of things I mentioned earlier. I'm not going to put Hermansen in the screenshot because, let's be honest, it is going to be Hermansen. And also, I can't imagine anybody else really picking any other keeper. Justin, Okoli, Fass, and I've actually put Ricardo. So I've took out Christensen because I don't think he particularly impressed on against Crystal Palace. Okoli and Fass, I'd stick as my double pivot. I was thinking about putting Vestergaard in for the possession and the fact that he could spray balls in different positions. I thought would be really good. But I like the partnership of Okoli and Fast kind of working together. They've both got um, both mobile. And I think against the Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who isn't that big, I think if you stick a Coley on Calvert-Lewin, that front line doesn't give you that much. And I think we can get away with playing this team. So get away. I think we can play this team and be comfortable. Skip and Winks holding. It's really harsh to drop in Diddy, but the reason because he was a man of the match. It was fantastic against Crystal Palace. But here's why: we're not going to have we're going to have a lot of possession of the ball, and this is the way that Steve Cooper likes to play with possession. So when you're playing a team out of possession, I agree. When you're playing against the top six and Aston Villa, other teams that are going to get possession, put in Diddy in, win the ball back high, give it to somebody, or play in Vardy, and we're through on goal. We're going to have possession. They're going to sit in and they're going to go, what have you got? And this is where our attack comes into play. Jamie Vardy is just Jamie Vardy things. I think he loves a goal against Everton as well. He loves a goal against any team, really. I've gone for Buonanotte in the middle. And the reason why is because he's got the Premier League experience over El Kanous. And then I think as the season goes on, we'll start to filter in El Kanous even more. We can bring on Ndidi maybe later if they start coming at us. We need some defensive solidity. And then we've got, again, Mavididi as one side. We've got Fatau as the other. So Mavididi, the reason why, again, he was great. Again, the fact he got his first start, I'd say I'd give him another one. I think he's really chomping at the bit for the Premier League. And I think he can unlock defenses. He'll be against Ashley Young. And I think he's got the ability to go, I'm going to take you on and take you on. I'm going to keep persisting and persisting. I think he gets something out of it. Fatau could be another option as well. I think this is not a game for Jordan Ayew. He could come on as a sub, but I wouldn't say start. I'd say Fatau trying to get around this side or trying to cut on the inside and then shoot. I think, again, Fatau doing Fatau things. Still figuring out the Premier League, in my opinion. Oddfish shout out as become Harry Winks for El Kanous. Yeah, not quite yet. I think eventually maybe, but Winks again, it was a little bit quiet in the game. I still think he'd start in that back line. I wouldn't put El Kanous. He's too young for the Premier League yet. He will get there, and especially he can play as a 10, an 8. I don't think he will. I think we play him as a if we need to take players off and just throw the kitchen sink in. I think a player to take off will probably be Oliver Skip, because he always looks gassed after about 60, 70 minutes. If we are going to take a player off to go for the win or to try and throw the kitchen sink at them, yeah, take a skip, just like we did against Aston Villa, where we really went for it. And I'm hoping to see more of the same in this game. Now we've got players back. Again, this is how I would set up. Now, here's what I think Steve Cooper will do. Let me put this in. That one there. I think he's set up like this. So let's go to the back. Skip and Winks, I think, is kind of understandable. Christian, Fast, Vestergaard, Justin, I think he keeps the same back line. But again, I've taken Okoli out, and I think he'll play Vestergaard. And that's Vestergaard for what I mentioned a bit earlier in terms of possession. Vestergaard on one side, Fast on one side, Vestergaard, Christensen and Justin could be two players that I think he likes Christensen. And I think in possession, Christensen is better than when we're trying to defend for our lives. Skip and Winks, again, is relatively self-explanatory. Hermansson's what self-explanatory. I can see Vestergaard coming in and Fast coming because of the possession ball and because these two have played more before. And this is what I've gone for up front. And these players have played mostly in a possession system under Enzo Maresca. So, Vardy up top, not surprising. Mavididi and Fatau, but I think he plays Ndidi. I wouldn't like to see Ndidi start. He had a great game, and it's a golden problem to have. You've got El Kanous, you've got Buonanotte, you've got Ndidi that can all play these number 10 positions. I think he starts Ndidi up top, and I disagree with the decision, but I think he will do that. I think Buonanotte deserves to start. El Kanous will come in eventually. I'm very excited for the kid. I think he's got a real future here. But at this moment in time, I've got a feeling he'll start Ndidi, just like he has been doing in the last couple of games. But this is different. Compared to Palace, we weren't expected to have possession of the ball. Against Aston Villa, we were going to try and cut out the middle because they play a box midfield, which is why you played Wilfred and Diddy, which made sense. But this is how I can see it working. So this is how I think we're going to set up. Let me know your thoughts down below. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. So it's a little bit of an Everton preview. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do the game after the just because I'm a little bit busy with some things. Unfortunately, for the last couple of weeks, I've been really busy, but I'll try and get the content to you when I can. Like, subscribe, everybody, all that good stuff. And we'll see you all in the next video. So goodbye.